3, 2, 1.
Hello, Patreon friends. Welcome to Last Call of Cthulhu. Thank you so much for all you do for Quests and Chaos. Without you, there'd be a stream, but it would be a crappy one. So we really appreciate everything you do. So we just wrapped up a remarkably straightforward episode. After all the hijinks of last time, this one was there. I just really liked the idea. So I read like a comic a little while back. It was a Thor comic, I think. And there was the idea of this priest whose only job was to take care of this tree. And like all he cared about was this tree. And I kind of liked it. And in the mythos, Shub-Niggurath, her sort of monster, they're called the Dark Young of Shub-Niggurath, and they are often mistaken for trees. Like they will just sort of live in forests. And so I was like, well, that's a natural connection. But then I just really like the idea of like a crappy chaos cult. Of like, two guys who are just like, well, we got to keep going. Come on. We got to, like.
I really liked how he was a true believer, but he was also like, look, we don't want to do all the killing. Let's just
yeah. He was, he was not inherent. I mean, he was quite insane, but he was not inherently evil.
This is why you have to run Warhammer.
But one thing that this episode had that I thought was kind of interesting was this was kind of the first time we got into the whole cosmic gods and that sort of thing, part of Cthulhu. And a question I have for the players is sort of how connected do you feel to that whole mythos? Is that stuff that you want, like that kind of all the mythos gods and things like that? It's stuff you want involved, or
how do you mean? Like, I think the situation matters. Do you mean like, is it appropriate for these characters? Or
yeah, I guess so.
Or is it us as players?
Masks kind of slapped you in the face with it because Nyarlathotep was a character in the game, and so in this one, like things like Shub-Niggurath, and you had we had we've had a little bit of stuff with other gods, but mainly references and things like that. And do you like having sort of, I don't know, more active participation of those beings?
From my perspective, I think it's the problem with Cthulhu is that we're ordinary people, and anything like that is just super beyond ordinary people.
Right.
Even a small thing should almost really be on ordinary people to run, other than to run away. Mm-hmm. Like we left Stillwater, just like, well, fuck it. We don't, we don't know, bye. Yeah. Yeah. So that's, anything bigger than Stillwater is just too big for an ordinary person.
Yeah. Well, but I like the things that they did tonight, where we kind of saw something that was bigger than us and we got to interact with it a little bit, but let's go away right away. No, that was good. I like that.
I mean, but I agree. I think it falls into that, like, we're in this particular case, at least from Jared's perspective, like he can't tell the difference. We're just adding one more thing into the list, the massive list of like crap I can barely already deal with. And so it's like, okay, you're told like, okay, this is so far beyond. It's like, well, to you, this is, it's talking to the Forest Prince. It's like, okay, this is something that you can't deal with, but like I can't deal with any of the stuff, really. So like this is all the same to me. So in this context, I don't know if there's much gain. It's like, okay, this is all still overwhelming.
Yeah, I think that in lieu of something like the game that the Black Pharaoh was playing, where he was directly involved in what was going on, I don't think that bringing the mythos gods at least directly into contact with us is much of a thing, really, because we'll go insane. We'll just flat go insane.
One thing that I don't do a lot of, that or haven't done a lot of, is also like there's a lot of like contact deity spells. Like you can learn spells that are like, oh, I can talk to Nodens, or I can talk to whatever. And I mean, most of them are not great conversationalists, but you can you can sort of have direct contact in that way. You can learn those spells. I've sort of intentionally not done as much of that with Down Darker Trails. Like in you guys had a fair amount of magic in Masks, but not in Down Darker Trails. Oh god, there was something else that you said that kind of triggered something, and I'm blanking on it now. So
you'll think of it at like 2:00 in the morning when you sit bolt upright in bed.
Right. I was impressed. Like, so for Patreons, you know, there's a Zoom chat going on this whole time that I sort of am able to follow, but not 100%. It's mainly Nick. He is mainly putting jokes in there and stuff like that. But you all, like every one of you was just like Lullaby. They're putting something to sleep, you know, just like it was. I guess I telegraphed that one a little too much, you know. But I love that idea of like our cult isn't trying to bring something to life. Our cult's trying to keep something asleep. Yeah. Inverting it.
Honestly, that's not the worst thing. That's like one of the most benign things that we've run into.
Yeah, well, that's why, you know, like Ramsey's kind of like, okay, let's just leave these guys alone. Let's just go.
I had to, because Jared just hates all of these greater things, and that's why it's the like, no, there has to be some way. Like, I've seen things before where everyone's like, this is too great, you can't hurt it, and it's like, oh no, high explosives really do work on a lot of things. You can't discount.
Yeah, you know, dynamite's your friend often.
Yeah, but this is so beyond anything that we've dealt with.
Well, and again, though, this is Jared just being like,
sure.
Right. This is the thing. These are the things that Jared hates most of all.
Well, it's not so, it's also going back to like, okay, I'm just adding this to the list of powerful things. Like I have no reference for scale. So it's like, well, you know, again, it's like, I don't know, you say you can't do it, but I've seen things that are like, I am this great deity. Oh, I'm blown up. Oh, bullets hurt me.
Yeah.
So like, the finale of this is going to bring back a lot of unfortunate memories of, you know, I mean, I think it's clear our friends the angels need we need more angel sightings. The great old ones are going to be involved.
I missed all the other clones. I missed like seeing them pop up and die.
I think there might be a senior Jared, you know, at some point. And the other we know of at least 3 other clone lines that will probably show up.
I know of 2.
There's the girl and
there's
professor. The preacher, sorry.
Preacher.
The girl and the preacher. Oh no, maybe there are only, and Jared. Yeah, there's
Jared
altogether.
But there can always be more. So.
Oh yeah, who knows? And so that will all sort of be woven in with a bunch of Olmec stuff. Patreons, this is the one thing that I'll tell you. Go look up the Olmec art. So the Olmecs had these amazing sculptures of heads that are giant, but they're these kind of to use an SAT word, batrachian heads, these toad-like heads that are these amazing totems that are super cool. That I actually, if it hadn't been a tree, I was going to have one of those heads be the thing in the cave. But then I just liked the tree idea so much, and it was, you know, it was easier to make it move versus this head.
And it worked with the crying Virgin Mary too.
The watering.
That was awesome.
Ezra, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because when we were in initiative, you did comment that said, unless somebody does something stupid, we're going to come out of initiative. Can you tell me what would have happened had I done something stupid that I was thinking of doing?
Tell me your dumbness.
I was going to shoot the Virgin Mary in the face.
Yeah, that's what I expected. And that would have definitely...
like you do.
That would have definitely... the singing would not have helped in that case.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That would have... It hadn't occurred to me what would happen, Julie, when you were like, I'm going to try and grab the thing.
Oh. And
I was like, oh, it's, you know... it's part of the tree, but I don't, you know, I want something interesting to happen. And so that was an interesting, I hadn't considered that you would still try and grab it after all that. That would have probably, shooting the Virgin Mary would have you know, depending, like I probably would have had you break it then or something like that. It would have.
Yeah,
been,
I almost tried to rope it, you know, because I have that rope use and stuff.
Right,
But then I'm like, oh no, I might get tangled in the tree, so I got to go for it.
that could have been interesting as well, trying to yank it out there. Who knows if the acid would have gotten impacted. Yeah, that was good. That was remarkably, you know, you guys made some deals. We put a bunch of stuff in the boy too. We triggered,
Hey.
but we still put some.
So we triggered last time. This time
I'm putting 2 in, I think.
We have another game this time, right? So we still have.
Yes.
So.
Well, my guess is we're going to have 2. My guess is we'll have all of next session, and then January the whatever it is, the 8th, the 5th, the something. We'll do like half of the show and then half like an after show kind of, you know, Q&A from the audience, sort of going through that sort of thing.
So we are going to put in 5 bits into the boy. You have 2 Patreon bits that carry over.
2 bacon bits.
And
you still have your squeal bits.
Yep.
5 that are still carrying over.
Nice. There we go. All right. Well, Patreons, again, can't say it enough. Thank you for your support of Quests and Chaos. Means the world to all of us. You let us play these games that we love and get to pretend like, you know, anybody cares about it. So we really appreciate you.
Really, you let us do really dumb stuff and re-roll. Like that is
true.
This game would be so. We'd all be so dead so many times over from really dumb things.
You know, this is a discussion for another after show, but I have not, in the course of doing this now for more than 3 years, I have still not figured out the economy of dealing with re-rolls and sort of how that factors into everything. It's
tough because I think it's just we balance it with our asinine behavior.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
I think we would just play differently.
And that we need to analyze that even deeper next time.
Yeah, let's drill down on that one. All right.
I mean, I just want to jump in here a little bit because I know this is something you guys can comment, you Patreon members out there. So with bits in this game, they're a re-roll, but we use the, you know, whatever the roll is. Yeah. It's not like advantage, like, oh, you get to roll again and then choose the better one. That's right. No. Whatever happens. So there's a lot more.
Oh, and it's been, you know, there are Amy's and Emma's for a reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't think we had those in D&D. I think it was, we'll just take the better one.
I see. All right. Well, that's an interesting difference. Yeah.
So this one, there's actually consequences to using it and failing.
Yeah,
right.
There's a risk involved when you decide, should I re-roll?
Yeah, re-rolls are not always a good thing. Yeah, all right, that makes sense. Yeah.
So thinking about that, and then I'm still thinking about, you know, critical hit tables that are using the setbacks, not like you lost an eye, you know, but like, oh, you have a sprained leg, or, you know, something that's.
Get ready, Warhammer. Oh yeah.
So just, you know, having something that you know won't just heal after a long rest. It might be a few days in game.
I think that stuff is very. I think there was some interesting stuff also with like fatigue, using fatigue rules and that sort of thing in D&D terms, but in Cthulhu terms, looking at things like, you know, to your point, like a some sort of injury that gives you like a penalty die on doing various actions, you know, over a course of time, that sort of thing.
Well, that penalty die on every roll was not fun.
Yeah, fatigue is rough, man. Fatigue is rough.
It definitely took some critical successes into critical failures.
The lesson here, kids, is get a good night's sleep. And speaking of such things, goodbye, Patreon friends.